today we're working on a tub surround. It's a 180 facial install with a full 360 cap. Dry fit today is extremely important because if you're able to fit it without putting any silicone on it, plus hence dry fit, and if it fits perfectly, then you know you're off to a good start. So what we're going to do is we're adding the shims, and these are our little horseshoe spacers. Here they are, they come in different sizes, the blue being a 16th, the red being an 8th, then there's a yellow 3/16, we stick within those three. What we're doing with these is we're putting these on our surface. Because what they're doing is they're helping me keep and know that I'm at 1/8 of an inch when I apply the silicone and have the MR wall and I push it down and put pressure on it. This ensures that I stay within 1/8. Because what happens is if you push past 1/8 and you get too thin, the silicone doesn't cure right. It goes from our kind of S or G pattern or 6 pattern and it gets smushed so much that the air can't cure the center of it. So this is very important and it makes sure we're at the right depth that we need to be. Also, when in doubt, if you have any questions, call a timeout and recheck it. So today we're installing the top deck of this surround tub with the MR walls, and what we did here is we used a flat surface, which was the floor, and then each piece was put together individually, and you can kind of see, well, you can't see the seam, which is what you're not supposed to see, but if I really point it out, you can see it right here. Well, you can't see it there either because I sanded it, it's right over here. And you can get a little bit of a joint right there. So there was 4 pieces, then we turned them into 2 pieces, and then we turned it into 1. So we're putting the silicone in so that we can set this tub deck. But there's a little bit of finessing to this because if you put too little amount of silicone, then it's going to be hollow and it's not going to catch and there's going to be no connection to the MR wall for the brown coat. But if you put too much, then you're going to be busy trying to squish it down and you end up flattening things out and it ends up bleeding over to your edge, which ruins your seal. So there's a little bit of a finessing. It's really good sometimes just to look down and make sure you're about, you know, let's say an 1/8, 3/16 above, you know, we could even go to a 1/4 above the top of the MR. And then you know you're in pretty good shape. Applying the accordion adhesive now, and I'm putting a nice amount because I need this to squeeze out. We've got the tub deck in, and now we're starting to put in the back wall. It sits right on the back side of the tub deck. And of course we've got a little fun right here is we've got 2 plugs for their television. It's going to go up in the upper corner, so we're going to take the 3rd piece, and I've made a special jig so that we can router these out and make them perfect so everything sets exactly the way it should set. So let's go check that out. Alright, so now we've got the piece, and we're going to just make sure we've mapped this out properly, and when in doubt, double check, triple check, and if then you're not sure again, quadruple check your measurements because you don't want to have to try to fix anything. You want to do this in one shot. So here we've checked our measurements as usual with my trusty tape. And then of course what we're going to do here is I've then marked them where I want them just so I can double assure that we're in the right spot. And then I've made myself a little Corian jig here that we're going to end up hot gluing on. So we're going to hot glue that on about right here. And then just to get things started, we're going to use a hole saw, and we're going to drill a hole right in the center that's big enough, or actually substantially bigger than my router bit. I've got a 5/8 router bit we're going to drop in, and then we're going to perfectly router out each one of these plugs. Alright, so we got our background music going. and we're good to go. We've got our jig set. We got it hot glued onto here. We've already got the hole cut out so that my router bit's gonna fit down into it. We're gonna pop it down in before we turn it on. Gonna make sure from underneath that it's away from any bit of corian so you don't get it caught. And then we're gonna do our thing, so let's take a look. All right, so this is finished product. We're just dry fitting this and holding it up without the other pieces, but looks like we're right on for their plugs. They'll probably have to put an extension box on and they'll put their plugs right on top of us. So Alex just cleaned the surface with some denatured alcohol, so everything's free and clear of dirt or any debris. And now, of course, the classic silicone application. Okay, so right now we've installed the first and the second piece. We've got the 1/8" spacers on the outside edges. And right now what we're doing is we have 16" spacers on the seam behind the two pieces spanning both. All right, it's the next morning here and we are just gonna quickly double check this third piece. So we're gonna dry fit it just to make sure everything's fitting right. And then we'll take it off, put the silicone on and put it in for good. Okay, so I'm just applying the silicone. This is the last piece that goes up to complete this back wall over the tub at 16th Street.
We wanted to show you more completion, but we didn't get to it because sometimes things take longer. Pete, as I'm sure you've realized, is a perfectionist. He gets into the details, and sometimes I'm like, Pete, can you just go a little faster? No, he won't do it. He's going for quality, and that's why we love Pete.